The Gov.Tools website is now online, and you can take advantage of this and do all sorts of governance actions within the Cardano ecosystem. This includes becoming a DRep, voting on your own, delegating to a DRep, voting no confidence, or abstaining from voting overall. You can also vote on various proposals or even submit proposals to the platform. This is the website here, and you can get to it at gov.tools. In this video, I'll be taking you through exactly how to become your own DRep, vote on your own, or delegate to a particular DRep, or take one of the default actions such as abstaining from all governance actions or voting no confidence. Let's get into it. Okay, everyone, for this video, I'll be using the Lace wallet. Now, in previous videos, I'll put links down below, but I used Eternl to go through a lot of this stuff because they came out first with all these particular governance actions within the wallet itself. So it made it really easy because it was all in there. Now, Eternl is a little bit more complicated, and for newbies coming into the ecosystem, it may be a little bit overwhelming. So Lace wallet is quite minimalistic in how it looks and how it operates. So anyone that is starting off, it's a fairly easy wallet to use. So let's get into this one here. So from the top right, click on connect, and there you can see the Lace wallet. You have other options here as well, such as Yoroi, Eternl, and NuFi. You can also see all the other wallets that they do support on their documentation website here. So we've got Vesper as well that you can also connect into, and Gero wallet is also being added in as well. So here I'll go back, I'll click on Lace, and this gives me a pop-up, and this will actually ask me to authorize the Lace wallet to gain access. So I'll click on authorize. There we go. So now I'm connected to the website via mainnet. Now here we'll ask you to pick a stake key. Now, if you're using Lace wallet with multiple sub accounts, so if you go here and click on Lace wallet and then expand this option here, you will see that you have various sub accounts here. So this is one wallet with multiple different accounts. Each one of these accounts has a unique stake key. A stake key as in an identifier of where you can delegate your staked ADA to. So you might be delegating to various different stake pools. And in this case, I am delegating to various different stake pools because I've got a split multi-pool delegation setup. So that's why you see on the Gov Tools website here multiple different stake keys. So I have to click the first one, and that will be for my very first account. So I'll click on that one, and then it will bring me to the dashboard. Now from the dashboard here, you can delegate your voting power, you can become a DRep, direct vote on your own, or view the various governance actions, or even propose one. So I'll show you how to do the default ones of abstain and no confidence, and that's really easy to do. So click on here, view DRep directory, and you have your automated voting options at the top. Now, this is important to do at least if you're not going to participate in governance in general on Cardano, because you do need to set up your wallet to one of the various voting options. And one of them is abstain from every vote or signal no confidence. So the very first thing you can do is just delegate to abstain from every vote. A pop-up will come up on the screen here. This is what it looks like. You just need to confirm that transaction. Put in your sending password, and away it goes. So now that would set this particular wallet to abstain for every single governance action that's out there. So at bare minimum, if you don't want to participate in any governance, that's what you need to do to continue withdrawing your ADA rewards. But let's take things a little bit more serious here and actually delegate your voting power to a particular DRep within the ecosystem. So this isn't giving that particular person your ADA, and it's not locking up your ADA in a smart contract or anything. This is essentially just saying, hey, I've got 800 ADA in my wallet, and I want to use that voting power of 800 ADA and assign it to a particular representative within the Cardano ecosystem. So there's lots of people here. We've got Army of Spies, which is a well-known YouTuber that talks a lot about the Cardano ecosystem. We have stake pool operators that are very well known, and builders within the ecosystem as well. Now, HD, I met at CE NFTCon back in 2022. I'm going to use you as an example here. So here you can click on view details. This will bring up the user's details here. You can see their DRep ID, and all you need to do is click on delegate. A transaction will come up that you need to confirm. So just confirm that, add in your sending password, confirm, and you are done. So now my wallet has gone from abstain to actually delegating my voting power to this particular user here, to HD. So that's really easy to do. Now let's say you get to the point where you are delegating your voting power to someone in the ecosystem, but you don't like their views. You don't like where the things are going, and you disagree with almost every other DRep out there. Perhaps you want to vote on your own, and you can do so. So I'll scroll down a little bit here. Now, these two options here, become a DRep and become a direct voter, they're essentially the same thing. It's a registration process, and you get a DRep ID, and then someone can delegate to that DRep ID. You can make yourself public or anonymous, whatever it is. So in this case, I'm going to become a direct voter. So I'm going to click on register. Now there are some requirements to becoming a direct voter, and that is you need to pay a deposit. The deposit is 500 ADA at the time of this recording. It may change in the future to be more inclusive, and they may want to lower that to include more people. But at the moment, it's 500 ADA. So let's continue this process and go through the registration as a direct voter. You'll see another transaction appear. This here will create you DRep certificates and all sorts of things that are needed. And you can see there in the transactions that minus 500. So I'm going to confirm that. And again, we are done. Really, really easy to do. So then now that transaction is being submitted to the blockchain, I can go back to the dashboard and I'll see that appear in a moment. So here you can see it's currently showing it's still delegated to HD, but as soon as that transaction hits the chain, this will update and then it will show that it's delegating to myself. There we go, and it's just updating. There we go, and it's detected that I am a direct voter. So now from here, I can retire as a direct voter. I'll click on continue. Another transaction will appear, which I'll again just need to sign, and that is being submitted to the blockchain. So it's a little bit less than 500 because I'm paying a transaction fee and they're just taking the transaction fee out of that particular deposit. So I'll get that ADA back in a moment, and I've deregistered as a direct voter. So now I can see that I've retired as direct voter, so that all updates just fine. Now, the last thing I'll show you here is becoming a DRep yourself. So now you can set up a public profile here. You can set up all your details and then have other users, other people in the ecosystem delegate to that particular ID. So let's go through this process now. Here we go. We can see the roles, responsibilities. You can learn more about becoming a DRep. And there again is that 500 ADA deposit. So let's continue with this process here. Now I will need to put in a name. So here I'll just put in test DRep, some objectives about what I want to do. I'm just going to write test at the moment, motivations, test, qualifications, test as well. So it's probably a good idea to write as much detail as possible here that people can absorb so they have a better idea of who they're delegating to as a DRep. Now, links and references here, this is where you can put in your X profile, for example, or any other social media links. We also have a new identity section here as well. So maybe you will want to put in your DRep ID on your X profile. So here I've got my DRep ID there on my X profile. So that way people can verify that it is me, or maybe you've set up a website or something for your DRep profile, which I will be doing myself as well. And then you can verify that with the metadata that is set up when registering as a DRep. At the moment, I'll also put that as my X profile. I'll just put it, it's just example links, so we don't need to worry about it at the moment. And then we have a payment address for your DRep. Now this is because there is talk about potential compensation for being a DRep, and maybe trivial small amounts like a tip, maybe like 50 ADA for participating in governance or something like that. So I'm not sure about those particular details at the moment. It's a changing process. And there's about 90 days before the ratification of the Cardano Constitution in December before we need to actually have this all in place. So at the moment, I'm just going to put in my LACE address, which I can grab from my wallet here. I'll just go copy and put in paste. And this is just an example, so this will be all removed anyway. And then you have the option here of do not list. So you don't need to be on the DRep directory, but if you do want to attract other potential delegates, you may want to leave that profile on. So let's click on continue now. Now we have to store and maintain this data ourselves. So this is all that metadata, all that information that you just filled on that form. You have to upload it somewhere. So let's go through this process of uploading it to somewhere that you can maintain the link of. So this is the particular file here. So this is my test DRep JSON file. So I'll just save that to my desktop. Now, in my last video, I did say GitHub was the easiest place to put it, and I still stand by that because you do have a lot of control over it in how it all works. So in this time, I'm going to show you step by step how to set that up. So here I have my my GitHub account. I've logged in. So if you don't have one, you just need to register. From the left-hand side here, click on New, and this will create a new repository for you, or a folder of where you can put something. So here I'm going to call it DRep test, and I'll click on Create Repository. Okay, so this is my blank repository. It's just the folder where I can put things. Now from here, it's not very obvious where you can upload a file because this is the initial start of a repository. So here is where you can create a new file or upload an existing file. So I'm going to click on Upload an existing file. And here you can choose the file. I'm going to navigate to that test DRep file, that JSON file. Great. And we'll just go commit. Commit is just save. That will process, and there it is. It's online. Now I'm going to click on that particular file so I can see the details. Great, this is all the content from that file. I don't need to do anything here, but I can't share this file back to the registration process because it contains everything around it, like all the GitHub stuff. So what you want is the raw, which is the plain text of just the contents of the file itself. So there's a little button here that says raw. Click on that, and it will give you the URL from the very top here. You can't see me selecting it, but the URL from the nav bar, copy that. It should be something like raw.githubusercontent.com. And if I go back to the DRep registration thing, I can paste that in there. You can see the full URL. That's good. And the very last of it will have something rather drep.json.id. Click on submit. Now this will verify that your registered information is the same as what's on that file. Now you'll be asked to sign another transaction. So this is the 500 ADA deposit again in this case. So I'll click on confirm, sign that transaction, and we're done. That is the full registration of a DRep. And there we can go, and there we can see that that's all done now. This is my public DRep ID. And if we click on view your DRep details, this is your public DRep page. So if you wanted to encourage someone to delegate voting power to you, you can share them this URL. So you may want to make a bit.ly URL, so shorten that URL, or even create a QR code out of it so that you can hand it out at conferences or events and let people scan that to be able to get to your page and easily delegate their wallets to you so that you can vote on their behalf. So this is really easy to do. This is so much better than pasting things in, grabbing the address, because once you connect your wallet in, all you need to do is delegate to the particular person that you want to delegate to via the website itself. So it's super easy this way. Now, after all that, all that's done, you're all set up. You're set up as a DRep. You want to vote on something as a direct voter. You can then go to governance actions, and under governance actions here, depending on what's online, you can vote on various things. So this was a test governance action that was put up, I think it was by Adam Dean. It's just a bit of data information at the moment. So when, how long this particular vote action will go for. So up to the 11th of October. So here I can actually go through and vote on this particular governance action. So I'm going to click on no. Click on vote, and then I can submit that transaction accordingly. So here I can see it will just cost me a small amount, 0.18 ADA. Click on confirm, and we're done. So then now that vote has been submitted and is now in progress. And there we go. So now I can see that I don't have any more governance actions to vote on, and this is one that has already been voted on, and I voted no. So that's the process of a governance action. Furthermore, you can do proposals within the platform itself. It does require you to identify yourself. So I'm just going to confirm, and that's just identifying that you are the holder and controller of the wallet. So you just need to sign that data transaction. Then you can set up a username on here, which I won't do at this point in time. And then from that point, you can then start commenting and talking through the various proposals that have been put online, or put your own proposal up. And then when you're ready, have that submitted and put on chain for voting. So it does, it's a bit of a process to go through all this stuff for governance in Cardano, but that's how it's set up. And I think it's a really nice way of going about things. Okay, so now I've done the governance actions. I've gone through proposals. Let's deregister as a DRep. I don't want to be a DRep anymore. This is way too hard. Let's let's deregister from this entire process. So go back to the dashboard here, and here you have the option to retire as a DRep. So I click on retire, go through this process here, and here I can see the transaction. This is very similar to deregistering as a direct voter, and then I can confirm that transaction and we are done. So now that would submit to chain and deregister me as a DRep. So I think I've gone through everything on this website that you need to know, everything from registering, deregistering, taking a governance action and putting in a proposal. If you want some more guides and documentations, it's all on the website as well. This is the documentation for it, where you can learn more about governance on Cardano in general. So hopefully you found this video useful and interesting. If you learned something from it, please consider hitting that thumbs up, hit that like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll keep on pumping out more video tutorials for you so you have a really good understanding of how this all works and be kept up to date with everything in the Cardano ecosystem. With that, I'll see you in the next video.